So guys, I've been watching a lot of cricket lately from the IPL, and now recently West Indies toured to the UK, which was an embarrassing display for the visitors, and the World Test Championship final over the weekend. So tonight's video is going to be in full. However, I will break it down into three parts for those who don't want to watch the entire video. Plus, please like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, please join the conversation in the new communities tab that YouTube brought out a few days back. So without further ado, let's get on with it. And let's face it, a lot of stupidness happened behind the scenes before West Indies was supposed to tour England. Just recently, the men in maroon announced a new test captain in Roston Chase and vice captain Jamel Warrican ahead of the Australia series that starts a week from now. Now, I'm not in support of Chase nor Warrican in the test captaincy, neither the vice captaincy one bit, and I was never in support from day one. Once the news broke, I was never happy with the decision. And then before they tour England, they let a few of the players in the likes of Shafeen Rutherford and Romario Shepherd skip the one-day leg of the tour to take part in the IPL playoffs and finals respectively. And if that wasn't bad enough, their main T20 spinner Akil Hussain missed one T20 international because of visa issues, while Nicholas Puran shocked the entire cricketing world by announcing his retirement from international cricket at the age of 29. Now that is something I will touch on in a subsequent video. England, on the other hand, under new white ball captain Harry Brook, demonstrating exceptionally why England continued their baseball aggression during the tour. They achieved a 3-0 series whitewash in both the ODIs and T20s, showcasing clinical batting and bowling performances. Now, England, we all know, have always familiarized themselves by playing at home, and the pitches and the weather always plays a significant part. Now, for example, if you watch some of the one-day games and the T20s, especially the first two games, there was nothing for the bowlers. It was completely a batting paradise. But the third game had something for the bowlers, but yet still the visitors failed to capitalize on it right throughout the series. Look, for example, I'm going to flash forward to the third and final T20 at Rose Bowl, Southampton, just last week. England, they posted a formidable 248 for the loss of 3, exploiting a batting-friendly flat pitch, and their spin-heavy attack led by Adil Rashid and Liam Dawson effectively contained the Windies' chase. The English depth in their batting lineup and bowling changes constantly overwhelmed the visitors, who throughout the series, throughout the ODIs and the T20s respectively, struggled quite badly to adapt to the conditions. As I was just talking about their batting and bowling, their lineups for all of the games, as expected, they literally struggled to post not only competitive totals and chase effectively, but failed to defend as well. Now, Shai-Hope and Evan Lewis, or should I say, as Shai-Hope and Evan Lewis were unable to convert starts into match-defining scores against England's disciplined attack. In the last game, despite a strong start, West Indies collapsed to 199 for the loss of 7, chasing 249 as former captain Ralphman Powell, who was sacked for no specific reason back in April, top scored with 75 not out. As for their pace attack led by ex-captain Jason Holder and leader of the pack Azari Joseph, they were unable to contain the Poms' aggressive style of batting from the likes of Phil Salt didn't take part in the T20s. If I'm not mistaken, it was Butler and this other guy, I think it was Dunkett. They literally killed them. And then poor fielding, including drop catches throughout the series, costed the Windies quite badly in all departments. They may have won only two games in Ireland, but questions need to be asked regarding selection along with defensive tactics that costed the West Indies quite badly. Plus, as normal, before any away tour, there have always been lack of preparations. Now, compared to a long time ago where they would have the 1 or 2 warm-ups, you don't even see that anymore. for both red ball and white ball cricket respectively as times have changed. So moving away from the West Indies now to South Africa, because on Saturday South Africa made history by finally winning an ICC event after 27 years. This is after defeating Australia, the previous champions, inside 4 days of the World Test Championship Test match final played at the home of cricket, the Lord's Cricket Ground. The first 2 days of the Test match was dominated by both the Proteas and Baggy Green's Pacers, with 14 wickets falling on day 1, while on day 2, 12 wickets fell, and as normal, cricketing experts globally went, especially those in the subcontinent, went on rants via social media blaming the pitch. Now, if this was a subcontinental pitch where the bounce is slow and it's known to be low turning, or should I say, if it was in the subcontinent where it's known for spinning tracks and rank turners, there would be major criticism. As for the pitch played at Lord's, it was a typical Senna, which is South Africa, England, New Zealand, Australia, which always has grassy tracks and all kinds of things. It was a typical Senna grassy wicket, which is known to assisting the faster and medium pacers alike. Australia, believe it or not, shocked the entire globe by winning the toss and electing to bat on what was a seamer-friendly pitch. Now, had they had bowled first, the result would have been 50-50, but who knows? But who knew that the South African Pacers would exploit the mishap that Australia caused by winning the toss and going out there first? Their Pacers, particularly Kagiso Rabada, back from a recreational ban, he struck early, dismissing Labuschagne and Khawaja, reducing Australia for 29 for the loss of 2. Then Steve Smith and Bew Webster anchored the innings, but Rabada's fiery spell after lunch, including a fifer, triggered a collapse. Marco Jansen and Luengi Ngidindi supported Rabada, while Jansen took 3. Australia, they were bowled out for 212 in the 57th over. South Africa's reply began poorly. Cummings and Hazelwood exploited the conditions, just like what South Africa's bowlers did early on, reducing the Proteas to 4 for 43 at stumps, trailing by 169 runs. Tony D'Souza 9, Ryan Rickleton 10, and Tristan Stubbs 2 fell cheaply, while David Belgadim at the close, along with Temba Bavuma, they closed on 21 and 13 respectively. However, the next day when they resumed at 43 for the loss of 4, they crumbled under Australia's pace attack. Cummings delivered a masterclass, taking 6 wickets for 28, including the wickets of Aidan Markram for 14, Kyle Vianney 8. Bengalham was the only one that top scored for 45, but the Proteas were bowled out for 138 in the 58th over, conceding a 74-run lead. Australia in their second innings started cautiously, but South Africa's bowlers, led by Rabada and Ngindi, struck back. Labuschagne 27 and Khawaja 20 fell early, with Aidan Markram dismissing Steve Smith for 26 via part-time spin bowling. At stumps, Australia had reached 144 for 8 after 46 overs, leading by 218. Alex Carey at the close was on 43 and Nathan Lyon was yet to score. However, on the next day, they were bowled out very cheaply, and then the Aussies set the Proteas a target of 282 runs, but South Africa's chase, powered by Aidan Markram's century, put them in the driver's seat as the Proteas at the close reached 213 for the loss of 2 after 64 overs, needing another 69 to win the trophy. South Africa, the next morning before lunch, completed the triumph, reaching its target 3 deliveries before the luncheon interval. They had resumed on 213 for 2 from the overnight score, but lost Bavuma 66, Markram's 136, Tristan Stubbs 15, and Y. Muller's no score, who never got a chance to get off the mark, helped South Africa reach to 270 for 5. Then Kyle Vianney 13 and David Bengalham 10 guided South Africa to 282 for the loss of 5 in the 84th over, winning by 5 wickets. Stark was to pick up the bowlers for Australia with 3 wickets for 66. Coincidentally, this was South Africa's joint second highest successful chase at Lord's, securing their first World Test Championship title and first major ICC trophy since the 1998 Knockout Cup, which is now known as Champions Trophy, in Bangladesh under the captaincy of the late Hansie Cronje. The South Africans took home $3.6 million, while Australia, as runners-up, took home US $2.16 million. Now, this test match will forever be memorable for Markram's brilliant innings. Now, he was under immense pressure, not only from media but from former cricketers turned experts, and he showed them their place. I mean, like, seriously, Markram himself became a hero for South Africa on what was a historic day for the Proteas. Don't forget Kagiso Rabada's 10-wicket haul in the match that set up what was the deciding factor in the game. Now, I'll tell you this, as what someone was telling me on Saturday, the toss was literally the pivotal part that won the game for the South Africans. The mishap Australia made, and I'll tell you this, was their batters let them down quite significantly. And I would not be surprised if the Aussies do make changes in time for the Caribbean tour, which starts on the 25th. And with all the talk that's going around in Australia, there is talk they want to keep Khawaja till the Ashes. Personally, I do not see that happening. However, on the other hand, what is sad for South Africa is they do not have any home test matches till October of 2026, which is a crying shame because, in my opinion, South Africa, they deserve more test cricket. The way they played throughout this World Test Championship was absolutely significant. I'll never forget the time where they lost 2-0 in New Zealand when they went with a B team. Now, some of those who were part of the B team graduated to the full member team, and that's how the South Africans won. They managed to surprise anyone on their day. Now, the Proteas, as you all may know, went through a decline a decade ago after the 2015 World Cup. They failed to qualify for the semi-final of the 50-over World Cup in 2019, but 2023. But once the 2020s came, let me tell you all this, once the 2020s came for South Africa, that's where the turning point came. Despite all the scandal that was going on with all the racism, the South Africans showed everyone why they're still a formidable force. I would not be surprised if South Africa starts dominating world cricket again following this Test Championship victory, but who knows? Only time will tell. So that's gonna wrap up this video. Hope you guys like it. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also join the conversation in the communities tab. I would like to hear more from you all. So until then, guys, take care and be good.